Alright, so welcome to the next session, everyone. So I just started the recording right away. Now in this session, before we proceed with basic animation, text appearance muna tayo plus. Okay. Now, I need you to select any videos that you want. Make sure that the video is not dark. It's like a brighter video. I will use this Lake 1080. Nasaan po ba yung lake natin? That will serve as the background. Actually, Fistbomb is also good. Yeah, maybe I'll just use this one. Jot video only ko lang siya. It's a good way of, it's a good sample for a background po kasi. Now, okay, so just keep your video clip in layer 1 and kindly produce a text clip. Well, on the last sessions, I told you about how to create a text, diba? So, type tool. So to where your playhead is, that is where the text clip will be created, but movable naman on a text clip. So, type tool, click here, I'll aim it, graphics, media, training, PH. Now click ko si selection tool. Click ko si selection tool so that I can move it around. First is I need to at least scale it up. Oh, sorry class, suburb. And then I'll just hold control, put it in the middle. That's what we did during yung first day in the session, right? Now, the clip is 5 seconds. Actually, it is quite long. I'm going to make it at least 2 seconds long, maybe. Yeah. 2 seconds. Yeah, maybe 2 seconds is fine. Okay, so the text clip is now 2 seconds. I made it this big using selection tool. But first, before animating anything, before animating our clip, let's design the text first. So still, class we are in the editing workspace and kindly go, let's editing tile. If your editing is messed up, like something happened, you don't know how to reset it back. Always remember, na kailangan ka lang punta sa workspaces on the top right and you click reset for it to be resets. Okay. Now go to the effect controls next to the source screen and select your clip again for you to see what's inside the controls of your clip. Now, if it's your first time opening, this is how it looks like. If I'm correct, dito sa effect controls nyo, if you select your clip, this is how it looks like. Okay. So we are selecting our text clip and then I will also click our video clip. Text clip, video clip, text clip, video clip. Now, you cannot open the effect controls if you're selecting more than one clip. The effect controls can only cater one clip at a time, class. So, dito na tayo sa text clip. The video is just a design in the background. So, it's just the background, it's the focus in it. Dito tayo sa tayo sa text ko. Now, once we're inside the effect controls of our text clip, there are two properties here, class. We have the graphics property and the video property. You don't just click everywhere. You need to wait for my instruction. Okay. So in the graphics property, this is where we can design our text. We have the vector motion. Unfortunately, I'm not going to discuss the vector motion anymore. I don't usually use it. Not necessarily to use it. We also have the text mismo, like which text are you creating? So I have in my end my graphics media. That's why your text, you can see your text here in the graphics property. Now, later on in the video property, I'll just type here video. Well, our text clip still has a video property because it's still considered as a video clip. Remember that our text clip belongs to the video tracks, right? Okay, it's also considered as a video clip. That's why it has a video property. But this is good one, nothing in video property later. So this is where we'll animate. In the video property, we have the motion effects. This is where we control its movements. We have the opacity, controlling its opacity, its transparency, and the time remapping, which we won't discuss right away. This is related to speed kasi. Pero dito muna tayo sa graphics kasi dito tayo mag-edit sa appearance. So class, by the way, if dito sa text natin, don't click the eye or turning it off, you're hiding it. Yan click po natin is the drop down dito sa graphics property, this one. We'll click the drop down instead to see or to edit its appearance. But don't forget that after mo mag-type, you always, kasi naka-text indicator pa siya, the text line indicator, click selection tool, okay? Now, class, if you are creating a text, this might happen to you soon. No, say some clip, okay, say some graphic or sorry, kumain yung baby ko. 7 months pa. Anyway, so, yeah, going back here, there's a chance that while type tool po kayo, you accidentally click outside. So, if you're wondering, how can you remove your other text, accidentally want to go up from your text clip, okay? I see you could put a lot of text in just one clip, pwede talaga. But right now, I need to focus on only one text clip, one title per graphic clip. Actually, it's called graphic clip, ha? Pero generalize natin siya as text clip. So to remove these other texts, hindi mo siya kailangan i-remove dito sa screen kasi it's still there originally. Dito mo siya ma-remove sa effect controls in your text clip. So just select your text that you accidentally made. Select limbic like how you select a clip and delete. You click delete or right-click tapos clear. Okay, so I just want to focus with my text na graphics media. Siya lang gusto kong i-edit. Selection tool muna. Don't forget selection tool. And click ko yung drop down ni text natin to edit my graphics media and the text. First is we have the fonts. So Premiere Pro provides a lot of fonts if you will try to scroll down around or slide down around. Premiere Pro provide lots of fonts, okay? However, it's not as good as what we have expected kaya tayo po yung maghanap ng font mismo online. So the question is, where can I find fonts online? Let me just generate a new notepad. Where to find fonts? Is it free? Actually, most of it is free. We just need to be resourceful and patient. Up until makita natin yung gusto natin. So where to find free fonts online? It's really easy, class. So first we have thefont.com. We have 1001fonts.com. Don't take note of this app, Posmo muna siya, and fonts1.com. So if I go to the thefont.com, pray natin. If we go to the thefont.com here, let me just hide this one. Okay, so details are the font.com here below. Actually, this is saturated. Let me just go to 1001fonts.com, check out see fonts1.com. So dito sa ating thefont.com, they have really good fonts. Not all of them are totally free. Kapag may bayad, meaning hindi lang complete lahat ng characters, bali walang numbers yung iba. Okay, so more on Galaxy type style na font siya ngayon, ho? Mga sci-fi na fonts. Galaxy type sci-fi. And this one is also kitty type na fonts. Hindi na anak ko pang gusto ko. Chaser. This one looks fine. It's a thick font. Kaya, what if I wanted this one? So click ko lang itong download on the right side. You see this one? That's the download button. Click mo lang siya. Now, if you're probably wondering, why is it that every time I download something from my browser, it always prompts po yung aking file explorer and it's asking where do I need to put my download file? Kasi dito sa aking browser, if you're using your Chrome class, we always have that settings in our Chrome na makapunta ka sa downloads and you can activate ask where to save each file before downloading para at least alam mo kung saan mo siya ilalagay na folder. Or you can also activate show downloads when they're done. But I find this annoying, so either you activate or deactivate it. Pero ito yung importante na naka-check. Ask where to save each file always before downloading. Kaya every time I download something in the internet, especially here, like download ko siya, alam ko kung saan ko siya ilalagay. I'll just put it in my batch 146. Yeah? You always double check the location, huh? Quick save. So we're done with that font. Let's find another font from 1001fonts.com. Okay. So we have 1001fonts.com. Honestly, hindi ko masyadong trip si 1001fonts.com. Mas gusto ko pa yung the fonts. But there are still good fonts here. Okay. There are still good fonts. Maybe we'll move on to... Yeah, maybe Solar System. What if download din natin to? And lastly, itong fonts1.com. It's more on minimalistic style. If you check this one, if napapansin mo, diba? But I guess they don't have free commercial fonts. So you can use it for business use po sila. Hindi kasali yung mga colors kwesa. It's just the design of the font lang. Della Gothic. I'm not sure if I have this one already, pero it's good. Looks nice. Load more if you wanted more fonts. Passion 1. It's really simple. I like it. Monotone, Nonito, Bangers, Lita 1. Okay, how about we'll try to follow this Lilita 1 here. Tapos gusto kong sundin ang kanya shadow. I'm not sure if I'm able to follow it, but I guess we can. Play natin ha. So I'll just click download. It's not the design, it's not the shadow and the included new shadow, it's just the font lang. Close the ads and it will be downloaded. So let's go back to Premiere Pro and open the newly downloaded fonts. But don't forget that they are still AZIF files, so you still need to extract them, class. Right-click and extract nilang po siya. So I'm done with Chaser, it's extracted. My Lilita 1 and tsaka si Solar System. Now once it's extracted, you can just delete the zip files because it will just double the size. Chaser 2, okay? Now, if I go inside, there are only two types of font file. Kapag font po yung pinag-usapan natin, this is how you identify if it's eFont or not, okay? So kapag font po yung file type, there are two type font file, or what we call the TTF, and the open type font file. Open type font file is like the latest type of font, but it's still a font. They're both fonts. Yeah. OTF push-up. Right now, this is TTF. It's really simple how to... It's really simple on how to install them. Just double-click to go out inside and check if it's complete. Okay, hold on. Where's my Premiere Pro? It's minimize pala. Going back. Hold on lang ha. So nangyari, ulitin ko, nag-double-click ako. I went inside and you need to check if the characters are complete. So you have there the small caps, big caps, numbers, and special characters. So complete siya. Okay. So on the top left, you'll find this install button. You'll find this install button. Just click the install. And there you go. It's now installed. Kaya, we'll be searching it later to Chaser ha. Let's go to the other font spot. Let me just fully install them. Lilita 1. You don't need to open the tax document. Maybe that is the copyright rules, but no. That's natin. True type font file siya. I went inside. Small caps, big caps, numbers, and special characters are complete. Click install, and now we're good. Now, I'm hesitant with Solar System because he's in Solar System. Read me first. My open type font for dito lang tayo sa OTF niya. Tingnan mo, walang ay kompleto. Wala na small caps, but it has a special character, so install ko lang siya. Itong pangalawa, it's a thicker one, pero I guess we'll do duplicate na. And we'll do duplicate na siya. Si OTF lang kasi yung download natin. I-install natin. This is how it looks like. Okay. Guys, meron akong share sa inyo. Actually, this one that you see right now, I can try to follow this font. Can I try to follow this font? Yeah, I am. Pero indeed, not in this class right now. I'll try to just say this one, so I'll just keep it there. We'll try to follow that font soon, ha? But sangayon mo kang hindi pa natin siya masolusyon at hindi pa. On the next topic pa. Okay, so anyway, and now install ko na silang tatlo. And the good thing about installing a font class kasi nga, di ba may solar system dun, solar. Ito po siya, di ba? Now, ano pa yung ibang tatlo? Chaser and Lilita. So Lilita, yeah, this one is Lilita and Chaser. So class, the good thing is, did I do anything to just put it directly to Premiere Pro? Wala. So once you have settled, or once you have clicked install kasi, and install mo na siya, meaning it is now inside your PC. So any softwares that you have, like if you have a Photoshop, Lightroom, you have your Notepad, sticky notes, if you try to search this font, it will be available. So present na tong font na to class ha. Present na po siya. But I guess I'll just use the Chaser one. Pero I need to type again. Weird ah? No, wala siyang N. Yeah, I'm typing N, letter N list like Nancy, but lumalabas siya as ay, hala. Wait lang ha. N, M. Na-switch siya. Actually, ang kanilang N is, may lumalabas like N and M. Yeah. Tapos, it's in the fonts and it's a mistake from them. Tapos training instead na N and M like click ko. Tapos sa media instead of N, M ang i-type N ang i-type ko. Ora M ang lalabas. And that confusing no, pero it might be in the fonts and na font, pero I'll just use Lilita nila siguro. Lilita. Hindi ko siya mapapalitan. Why is it that I cannot change it? Because I am still typing. You still see the text line, the text indicator in our type tool kapakase. That's why I always remind you to at least use selection tool if you want to make changes to the entire text. So I'll just change it to Lilita one and mapapalitan mo na. Maybe Lilita lang would be fine. So type tool and rename this one. And diba, napansin nyo, iba siya. It's in the fonts and it's in the fonts font part. So selection tool and put it in the middle. Okay, so we're done with the font. It's really easy. Now we also have here the font size. If you wanted to increase the font size, yes, you can. Let me just make it at least 110 and put it back here in the middle. Now font style, it's only regular. It's wala siyang like black, thin, Italian, italic. Lumalabas siya sa ibang fonts. Pero let me move on. Now, why is it that every time I type, it always starts from the left? Because taka left align text kasi siya. So since we're dealing with the title and you want it in the middle, so I need to choose center align text. Left align text, center align text. You see this three. That one. Right align text. So center align text entire since we're dealing with the title. And I'll just move it back in the middle. Okay. So always remember in the center line text po yung advice ni coach. Kapag naka-center line text ka, you'll see this anchor point, it's in the middle. Because at first it was in the left. So center line text lang po class. Now moving on, I will skip with the other parts like the top align text, middle, okay. We don't really need to. I'll just stick with the default like center line now. Wala ko nang papalitan na iba. Dito tayo focus in this two spacing. Tracking and see leading. So you have the tracking and leading. So dito sa ating tracking, okay, this one. If I increase it, so it starts at 0, but if I increase it, it is separating them. So ito pala yung nakakapagpahiwalay ng mga characters. Okay, naging one seat apart na sila. But if I try to decrease it like lower than 0, they are compressing. So mas madikit na, but not too much. Sakto lang. Maybe I'll just keep with the default one. 0 is fine for me, so I don't need to change the tracking, but that is tracking. Now, coding, I'll be explaining coding soon, but later na lang. Dito tayo sa leading. These are the important alignments kasi. So si leading, siya po yung reason kung bakit malayo yung words above and below. So paano kung mapapalapit si training PH patas by decreasing the leading? Kasi if you increase the leading like this, if I increase it, lumalayo siya. But if I decrease the leading, dumidikit po siya, which is good. Not too much like that kasi magpapasok mo talaga siya mag-shave da. So, konti lang. So that is the leading. Baseline shift, that is adjusting the anchor point. Pero not necessarily that you need to change the baseline shift. I don't change it, so keep it 0. Tab width, I don't change the tab width. I don't know how this works, honestly. There are other functions kasi that I don't change here. So overall, ang pinalitan na natin is the fonts, the font size, the alignment, centerline text, tracking, and leading class. Now, if you wanted to have it a little bit thicker, like Fox bold, italic, okay, but I need to proceed now. So if you slide down below, you'll find there the appearance, and this is where we can edit the appearance of our text dito sa ating appearance. So fill, wait lang, I'll take one. So we have here in the appearance, we have the fill. Fill is the main color. That's the main, what's inside the text. That's a fill array. It's white. If I click this color picker right now, this box, this colored box, click mo lang siya, it's the color picker. It's letting you choose the color. So lalabas tong color picker na window if you click this box to change the color. Now, if you drag, you see this arrow? This is the color wheel. Actually, it fits, if it starts with red, it also ends at red. So you have that like red, orange, yellow, green, teal, cyan, blue, pink, back to red. Now, if I wanted it to be like what? Cyan, okay? It doesn't mean that it's already cyan. Yung text mo. Kasi dito sa box, you see this one. Yung circle mo, andito pa sa bottom left. So you still need to drag this circle to the bottom right for it to be cyanic. Cyanic is like sky blue. Now we have there black, and you have bottom white. You have on the bottom left white. So black and bottom left white. So kasi walang black dito sa color. Where is the black? Black is located to all of them. It's on the top. But if your circle, if this is, let's just call it circle, if it's in the bottom right, so it will depend on kung saan yung color mo in the color wheel. So if I'll change it to maybe yellow, why not yellow, diba? And I click OK, it will be yellow. But that's not it. We can also create gradients. So right now this is a solid fill. So if I click this box again, that's a solid po tayo na fill options. And naka-yellow kung yun, diba? But if I go to the linear gradient or the radial gradient, makikita mo na gradient na siya. But in your hand, it starts differently. So if you went to solid, then you went to linear gradient, usually naka-all-the-way pa siya. So this is how simple it works out. Our text is split into two. The layer, or the layer on top of the text, that is the first color stop, this one. And the layer below your text, that is the second color stop, everybody. So if you wanted to, by the way, itong makikita mong functions in my recording, it's not in the Premiere Pro. This is Zoom, yung mga drawing tools ko sa Zoom po yan. It's not in Premiere Pro. Now, if you click this, if you wanted to change the color below, first is you must select this second color stop, ito, pangalawa. Yan dapat ang i-select mo. So click mo muna siya. So I'm selected here already. It's highlighted. Then I'll change its color. Like for example, I wanted it to make it cyan, or maybe making it red. What if I wanted it to make it red? So red na yung bottom. If you check this bar right now, this bar, it's red on the right, it is white on the left. Okay, so that's red below. Okay. This is the bottom layer. The second close up is the bottom layer, and on top is still white. I wanted to change the color on top, so click Kulungtong's first color stop. Click Lanatin Shah. Then I'll change it to yellow. Actually, maganda po siya, no? If you'll check it, you now have the yellow on top, that's the top layer, and red below. You're also able to change the angle. Right now, it is horizontally split. What if gusto mo slanting siya? Or what if gusto mo vertically split siya? So it's by changing the angle here. You see this angle? It's 90 degree, yung angle niya. But if you try to increase it, you are changing. If you try to increase it, you're changing the angle. If tingnan mo, napapalitan, pati ang bottom right yung red, tapos yellow on the top left, so you can change the angle all the time, class. But let me just go back to the 90 degree angle pala. So 90 degree angle, so that's it. Let me click undo lang ha. May na-click ako. So going back here, if you wanted to add more layers, yes you can. You can just push this first color stop, but you need to be careful kasi baka mag-click ka lang and click and you're creating lots of layers now. You need to select and delete them. Delete bottom mismo. Now, I wanted to create another layer on top, like the third layer. Pwede po ba? Yes. You can just push this forward, and then you click anywhere in this blank space, it would produce the third layer. It's still yellow, but if I change it here, you can see the changes. So this is the first stop, the first layer, the top layer, middle layer, and bottom layer. That's why it's red below. And I guess that's it. I can just select the color stop again and delete. So right now in our class, let's just settle with only a simple gradient, like it's yellow above and red below. Or maybe I can change it to a different color, which is clean. I'll change it to another color ha. Yeah, this one looks fine. Or maybe yellow, tapos ang color below might be green. Or maybe red lang, pero not totally red. Oh, ganito lang. No red, okay. So I'll click OK. Now we're decided we have changed the fill to graded na po class. So there is a gradient here, slightly darker yellow lang siya. So we have here, next to fill is stroke. Stroke is dahil planyo linya sa labas. So this one is the stroke. If you check this throw, ulitin ko. If you check this throw, there you go. It always starts at white, yung stroke mo, diba? Now, in our stroke class, if you wanted to make the stroke thicker, that is by increasing the stroke width. You see the stroke width? So pwede mo to madrag itong stroke width. Like if you increase it, you are making it thicker. The outline, you're making it thicker. Or if you decrease it, you're making it thinner. Actually, whenever I apply a stroke, it really depends though if what's your target, pero it's okay to use one or two. At least it's not that thick, it's okay. You should masyado beginner's thing then. So that is the stroke. Or you can also change it to, you can click the stroke and change it to a different color. Maybe black outline. Maganda pa. Background, if you wanted to apply a background, like a colored background, first is you need to change the color. What if I wanted a black background? Then opacity, size, this is the size, and the corner radius. The corner radius, it's like curving the edges, the corners of your background. But uncheck ko lang muna siya. That's a color background. And last but not the least, the shadows. So class, we're not covering the mask with text, not this one yet. Dito lang tayo sa ating shadows. So I'll check these shadows. Okay, once again, I'll check these shadows. And that is the drop shadow you see behind. Okay, so ulitin ko. If I zoom in, if I zoom in at 50%, maybe 50% lang, let's just create a simple text lang right now, huh? But let me just check this solar system once again. Actually, I am able to follow this type of font, pero ituturo ko to sa ating next sessions pa. I call this how to create a glow in your text. It's covered. Actually, magagawa ko siya na yun. If I'll show you a glimpse, I'll show you a quick glimpse later. Paano to gagawin? Pero hindi ko siya tuturo right now. It will be in the next sessions pa. So listen, going back here, shadow style. So check this out, that there is a shadow. Usually, kapag mag-apply ko ng shadow, I wanted it to be clear and also visible. So I change it first to black. Kasi naka-gray siya. So black. Second is opacity. Opacity is the transparency. Gana po ba kalinaw? Gusto ko yung malinaw na shadow. So I'll increase the opacity. Second is the angle. Wait laha. Second is the angle. So we have increased the opacity cloud na siya. Second is the angle. You're able to drag it around. Now we also have the distance. Distance, increase it. Size, if you wanted to make it thicker. And lastly, what makes a shadow look good is by applying a blur. So if we increase the blur, you are blurring the shadow. Actually, ito po yung ginawa. If we go back to Lita 1, paano po ba nila nagawa? Ang gagawin ko dito, classes, I'm going to grab maybe not anymore. Huwag na siguro. So Lilita 1, they applied an outline here. Actually, sa pagkakalam ko. But this is a color, right? There is a shadow. At actually, ito yung ginawa nila. First, they don't need to blur the shadow. You don't need to blur it. We're using the Lita 1 rates. And then they change the angle to the bottom left, make it farther by increasing the distance. Maybe like this. Pero dalawa yung outline kasi nila. Dalawa yung shadow sila. Let me just try to follow if it's fine. So maybe I will yellow. Yeah, maybe I'll just choose yellow if it's fine. So the first shadow is going to be, it doesn't look fine, pero well, I'm a stroke, huh? And maybe I'll just choose yellow, but I'm not going to include stroke. Well, hindi ko siya makita kasi walang stroke. I'll just put a stroke pa siguro para at least alam natin sino si shadow. Okay, so the first one is really thin. So I'm going to decrease the distance, adjust the angle. The size is really small. And now make it farther a bit long. And change the angle in the bottom, lift them and pop. Okay, so that is our first shadow. I will add on the second shadow. So click ko lang tong add a shadow to this layer. So I now have the second one. And I'll be choosing cyan, just like in that clip. Okay, but at first I need to decrease the blurriness. Okay. Opacity. Increase go to hundreds. Distance, it might be further. And angle must be in the bottom left. I'm not sure if I'm able to cope up with them, pero I guess laha. Size, I guess it's it. I'm not sure if this is what they exactly created, because dito it's like a thicker one, pero I guess we're good. Okay, not totally that we're able to follow it, pero let me just click minus to remove the second shadow. And let's go back to the usual shadow. Okay. Balik muna tayo dito sa aking solar system. Am I able to follow this right now? It's quite advanced if gusto ko tong ituro ngayon. But I'm excited to teach this one too. Maybe later on, no. Okay, so I'll just make the shadow black. See, usually shadows must be black, right? And increase ko lang yung blurriness to make it blur. And our text is just simple right now. So may stroke tayo, may shadows pa. And I'll just remove this stroke. Okay, I'll just stick with the fill. So fill lang to, tsaka shadow. Tingnan mo. If walang shadow, hindi magandang fill. But if there's a shadow, there is a depth. You know that the text is the top layer. So I guess that's it. So we'll end up with shadow. I won't include the mask with text. We don't use it. And it don't transform. If possible, don't touch it yet. So let's just go back on top and hide your text because you're now good with your text. I'll change the zoom level back to fit, but okay. Proceeding. If, as what I promised, I wanted to show you about that solar system. So if I'll type here solar tapos system, I'll edit it real quick, huh? You don't need to follow me. Yeah, maybe scale it up. No need to follow me, exactly. I'll be teaching it soon. Solar system. It's quite big, as this is a bigger font. So if you'll follow that image once again. Okay, it's a glowing white. Okay, it's white, so I don't need to change the fill. It must be white. I need to remove the shadow. There's no shadows in it. Tapos ang style ko dito. I have my own style, so. Duplicate. Blur the one behind. Actually, freestyle to It's a good thing about knowing how to Premiere Pro because you're able to analyze whether you're able to analyze whether you can do it or not. May nagawa ko na. Then lastly, I'll apply the effect tint. So kaya, you just follow my training step by step, please, and we will get to this point. This is a basic to advanced basic class. Trust me, class, this is a really good course for you. It's a shortcut through and up. So tint, yeah, you don't need to follow me right now. It sounds confusing, but first battle. Boom. Or if I want to make it a little bit brighter, I'm just going to follow these steps. Not exactly the same thing, but it's similar, right? That's how we create a glowing text, but I'll be teaching it soon. So there's a lot of Rex pa na kailangan ko ma-declare sa inyo. Kaya hinay-hinay lang. You don't need to be rushed in learning. Follow the basic ways or my outline before we proceed with them. So once again, we stop with the text, the graphics property, and we want the text to design the text. So we end up with shadows, and I don't want you to change the transform below. So let's go back here on the top, and I'll see you in the basic animations at topic. So I'll just stop the recording right now.